Hey, hey, MOMnation, and welcome back to another episode of Mental Wealth with the lovely Laura. Hello, Laura. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing awesome. Always great to see you. As we always say, it's our favorite time, right?
It's my favorite time and it's a little late. We missed last month. We had to reschedule. So maybe we'll get two going this month. We'll see if you get a bonus episode in late November.
That would be awesome. I am totally on board for this. Oh, goodness. So, as I think about the topic for this episode, first of all, guys, if you are a newcomer here, we talk about things that we as moms really like that's our audience here need to work through on our own so that we don't pass this luggage on to our kids. So we talk a lot about
Mhm.
what moms go through, and obviously if you're not a mom too, you're not, you could definitely probably go through these things as well. And please do stay with us.
Yeah.
Please do listen. But a lot of times the stuff that we talk about is stuff that as moms that we kind of feel front and center, right? That are like right there in our world. And I think that this topic, Laura, is a big one for mamas. And I am going to let you
Mhm.
take the wheel for the topic today, and give us a little bit of background, a little bit of info, a little bit of just your amazing wisdom on what is codependency. I feel like it's a word that gets tossed around, and I don't know that we actually understand the true meaning of it.
Yeah. I think that's true. I think I hear codependent all the time, right? Like, oh, I'm codependent or oh, they're codependent or whatever. But really, when we're like what codependent actually means is that our sense of identity and our self-worth and our emotional well-being is overly dependent on someone else, like super wrapped up in another person's well-being. Especially when someone's struggling with like mental health issues, addiction, and other just like family dysfunction, right? So codependency kind of comes from the addiction world. So they
Mm,
have what's called CODA meetings, which is like Codependent Anonymous, and codependency sort of support groups. They actually began as a way for family members of people going through addiction could cope
mm,
with the addiction. And so that's kind of how this all started back in like the 70s with like the when the 12 steps was going. Basically the women of the wives of alcoholic partners came together and said, we need something for us, some way to help ourselves. And that turned
mm.
into Al-Anon, which is family members of Alcoholics Anonymous. And then from there came Codependency Anonymous. And so that's kind of its origin story, right? But
Mm-hmm.
codependency comes from it's that sense of like walking on eggshells all the time. It's that sense of like I can't have my own feelings and emotions because there's everybody else's feelings and emotions matter more than mine.
Gotcha.
It's the sense of rescuing and trying to control other people's behavior and emotions, fixing other people's feelings, that kind of thing.
Makes sense. And that can be easy for us as women to fall into, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I mean, if you think about what are the traits of like a good wife? What are the
Mm-hmm.
traits of a good mom? What are the traits of a
Mm-hmm.
good woman? Like we're seen and not
Daughter.
heard. We're
Mm-hmm.
a good daughter, right? Like you care for everybody else's feelings all the time. Like we're supposed to be polite. We're supposed to be pleasant. We're supposed to be like, as women, we're sort of placed in this role of being like there for everyone at everyone else's like discretion, right? Like we're
Mm-hmm.
only really invited to the party if we're not going to make a mess, like if
Yeah.
we're not going to need too much, like because imagine like when people call women like needy or people call women emotional or people call like there's so many things about being human that women are just not allowed to express
Right.
because you know there's like a negative connotation like in a society like ours. We have a patriarchal society, right? And so we can really question ourselves. Like one thing about being codependent is that we don't trust ourselves. We can't make a decision. So like another thing, like different ways that you can tell, like, am I codependent? Like, am I obsessed with other people's problems and behaviors and emotions? Yeah. Am I constantly, like, a codependent person will constantly talk about how other people are, how other people feel. So like, if I asked you like, oh, how are you doing? Like, oh, well, you know, my husband's having the worst time at work right now. And it's just like a really bad time. And my kid is doing this and it's like, I asked about you though, like, how are you doing? Right? Like what? And so there is no sense of self there. It's just a sense of like your role in the family system. And like your role is to kind of keep everything together. So codependent people will often like make excuses for their partner's bad behavior or make excuses for their kids' bad behavior, and be like embarrassed by other people's behavior because we don't think about what we need and who we are. We're basically a reflection of, and like everything that we are is a reflection of the family and the functioning of the family.
I feel like we were trained like that as young ladies.
I know. I think so too. You know, a lot of us, like it came from this like sense, this alcohol or addiction mindset, but it's not about that. I think about children of depressed mothers become codependent because they are dependent on their parents' emotion. I always say it's a child's job to control their parents' affect, right? Because if my parents are in a good mood and happy, then I'm going to get taken care of. I'm going to get my needs met. Right. And so if I have a depressed mom who's disconnected, lethargic, laying in bed all the time, grumpy, not cooking dinner, not cleaning the house, like my needs aren't getting met.
Right.
You know, and so I need to fix their feelings. So my survival, that's what it is. It's a survival strategy. My survival starts to depend on somebody else's emotional state and functioning.
And then we just get into that routine, and then that's what we seek in our adult relationships. Yeah.
Yeah, because we seek out what's comfortable because we have a template for that. Like, oh, I know how to deal with that. Right. I fit that, my puzzle piece fits in with that puzzle piece, right? So when we know when we have strategies for dealing with people who are emotionally disconnected or emotionally immature or people who are dysfunctional in some way, or people who have mental health issues, or people who have addiction issues. Like if I have strategies that I grew up building and honing, I'm very good at dealing with people like that. And so when I meet other people like that, I'm gonna be like, oh, I can do that. I can fit that in. That seems to make sense for my life. You match my skill set. So I'm going to choose you. And it's an unconscious choice. It's just like, it matches my skill set. Right. And that's why it makes us so uncomfortable when we meet healthy people. Like, I don't know how many times or how many people, I know a lot of people that talk like this or say this thing. Like when they meet somebody from like a healthy, functional family, they're like, this is just weird. They're like,
I've heard that.
Right. They're like, it's so weird. They like get along. They don't call each other names. They like each other. They treat each other with respect. It gave me the heebie-jeebies, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because we're just not used to that.
So true.
Yeah.
So true. Are there any, like, what are the differences between unhealthy and can there be healthy codependent behavior? Does that even exist, first of all, before we get into differences?
Well, I think that's a good question. So I think caring for let's just talk about qualities. Caring for other people, being considerate of other people's feelings, being emotionally attuned to other people. Like those are all healthy qualities. Now, when they run into the codependent zone comes with its own set of problems. Like if I do all those things to the detriment of myself, like for example, I'm so considerate of my spouse's feelings that I don't even know what I feel. I don't have any feelings until they have a feeling, and then I have that feeling.
And then I feel what they feel. Yeah.
Right. So like, I'm having a great day, but when my spouse comes home and they're having a bad day, now I'm having a bad day.
Mm.
And I didn't know that I was having a great day before because I couldn't even connect with that. It's never about me. It's an unhealthy, like losing of yourself. Like, I don't have a sense of myself. I don't know who I am without them. A lot of times we see ourselves in the context of our relationship with others. So like, I hear this from little kids all the time when I ask like about them, like, what are your favorite qualities? Oh, well, I'm really kind. I'm thoughtful. I do nice things for other people. I am a good listener. I follow the rules. Like, I'm respectful to my teachers. Like, okay, all those things are great, but those are in context of relationship.
Mm-hmm.
None of those things are like, oh, I'm intelligent. I'm curious. I'm crafty. I'm funny. I'm, interested in Legos and spaceships, right? Like, you're not telling me about yourself until you're telling me about yourself. You're telling me about your relationships.
Got you. Yeah.
And we often do that.
That's interesting. So let's stay on that train if we can here real quick. Yeah. What are some other what's some other evidence that maybe I don't know that I have a codependency problem? Do we call it a problem? Sure. I don't know. Or challenge? A thing. Yeah. How would I know?
I think you would know if you felt like you don't matter. If you had a difficult time, like you have guilt and anxiety when you're saying no. You have trouble maintaining and setting healthy boundaries. You have an obsession with other people's problems and behaviors. You blame yourself for other people's problems and behaviors. You might feel empty, resentful, or unappreciated. You might be really angry, but like burying your anger, and like you might feel like when someone else does something wrong, you think like, even if it doesn't have anything to do with you, like, why is this happening to me? Right? So it's like, in a weird way, it like revolves around you, but it doesn't revolve around you. It's like, it revolves around you, but it's like everybody else's feelings and emotions are like the single most important thing in your life.
Mm-hmm. That's very interesting as I'm like running through my head. Okay, what do I do that matches that?
I know.
You know what I mean?
So the reason why I'm interested in this topic, like full disclosure, like I recently was told by my therapist that I may have some codependent traits.
Oh.
And it got me thinking about my relationship. And I can remember. So this is what I think. I think I have healed a lot of that. And that's not necessarily, that doesn't represent my behaviors as much anymore with my relationship. But I noticed that there is some residue with my kids. And so we could talk about like how it manifests itself, right? So in my relationship, we've been together 10 years. I probably spent the first like 4 years, give or take, trying to control his behaviors and emotions and experiences because that made me feel safer.
Right.
So like, if he was doing okay, if he was in a good mood, if he was happy, so like, I would say yes to things that I wouldn't normally say yes to. I would go out of my way to like make his favorite meal. I would do, right? Like, I'm doing all of these things, like we call it like people pleasing. I'm doing all of these things to like make him feel happy. I'm going out of my way to say like, I love you. I think you're great. You are the best. Like, I'm going out of my way to like prop him up. I'm going out of my way to like make him feel good and be like this, feel like he's this perfect person. But I'm never mad at him. I'm never telling him what I need. I'm never asking for anything. I'm never questioning his bad behavior. I'm making excuses for it with my friends or my parents or whoever, right? I'm saying like, oh, it's totally fine. He's just, he's working late. That's why he couldn't come to my birthday dinner or whatever, right? Like, it's fine. Like, I'm making excuses. I'm covering up for him, all these things. And so that's codependent behavior. Got it. So now about I want to say like 5-6 years ago, I was like, I'm not doing that anymore. First of all, it's not working because his behavior is his behavior and I can't control it with mine. Like, I cannot control him. I cannot control his feelings. I cannot control his behaviors when he's having a bad day. If he doesn't know how to cope with his emotions, that's his fault. That's his deal. That's his problem. He's got to come up with a solution for that, not me. And his distress was intolerable to me. So it was like, if he's in distress, I'm freaking out. I'm anxious. I'm stressed. I'm nervous. I can't deal with it if he's in distress. Like, I need him to feel better so that I can be okay. So
and that's going to be a hard place to be, because then you're not in control of your own anxiety and your own stress, right? So that's even more stressful.
It's even more stressful because I have no agency.
Right.
Like, I have no control over the things I'm trying to control. Everything in my life just feels like it's falling apart. I'm not taking ownership. I'm not accountable. I'm not responsible for my own stuff. I'm only responsible for his stuff. Like, that's a lot. It's exhausting. And so I was like, this isn't working. This isn't helping me. Our relationship isn't getting better because of this.
Right.
Like, I'm not doing this anymore. So I stopped and I said, I'm going to take care of myself. So I redecorated my house. I started doing things that I wanted to do. I started getting into like cross stitch and like learning how to crochet and listening to podcasts that I like. And like, so I started to like develop my own identity. Right. And then I was happier. And it turned out that when I wasn't pushing him all the time, he became better at managing his own emotions because he is an autonomous, independent adult person. So what basically the message I was sending is, you're incapable of handling your emotions, so I have to do it for you. And if you take that approach, then it comes off as, I think I'm better than you. Right? Like, I think I can handle this better than you. So like, that's what it feels like on the other side of codependency.
Right.
And so here's how it leads into your kids. When your kid is acting out, when your kid is struggling with anxiety or depression or mental health issues, or your kid is struggling with addiction, you cannot function unless that person changes their behavior. Right? So like, your whole life is wrapped up in this kid's behavior and the consequences and the outcomes. And like, you're constantly trying to control them, constantly trying to change them, constantly trying to deal with and change their behaviors, and obsessing over what they're doing, how they're feeling, what's going on with them. And we lose ourselves.
Well, and then don't we get in the way of their natural growth as well? Because there's things they need to figure out kind of early on, before adulting gets here.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. We get in their way because we're saying, you're not capable of handling your emotions. You're too fragile. And I can't tolerate your distress. So I need you to be okay all the time. So we're teaching them to stuff down their emotions. We're teaching them that their emotions aren't okay. We're teaching them that their emotions are something to be afraid of and something to fix and something to change. That their emotions are so big and so overwhelming that they're dangerous and scary. That their behavior is going to ruin the family. Their behavior is going to negatively impact their parents' safety and health and well-being. And so like, that's a lot of pressure to put on a kid.
Truly.
And we're never teaching them that they have the capacity and strength and capability of doing something for themselves and moving through and making different choices. Like, we're taking away their agency. That's what we're doing.
It has to, at some point in there, cause some resentment too, right?
Yes. Resentment. So much resentment.
Yeah. Can we jump into that a little? Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah. Like, if I'm being babied and placated all the time, I'm going to resent you. I'm going to be like, what are you doing? Like, you're not respecting like my autonomy and my agency and my intelligence, right? Like, you're so afraid of my reaction, like as if I'm that bad, as if I'm like this volatile, like uncontrollable person. You know what I mean? Like, it's insulting to me when you are treating me that way. as like the codependent person treating me like I can't manage my emotions. And then for the other person, it's like, I'm doing all this. Like I hear this from people all the time. Like I do everything for everyone and no one ever takes care of me. Right? Like that's resentment. I do all this for everyone else. Like I'm doing all of this with the intention of getting love, appreciation, respect, but nobody appreciates someone hovering over them and taking away their agency.
Yeah, that's true.
And so then I resent the people that I'm caring for. And that's where you get like compassion fatigue and burnout, and parents who say things like, they said yes to, I got this example from Brene Brown, but basically it was like the classroom was having a party and they asked her to make like 24 brownies or something. And she said yes. She's like, yeah, I can do that because I'm perfect and I'll help everybody and I'll do everything for everyone, right? And then as I'm making the brownies, I say to my kid, you know, this is putting me out, right? Like, you know, I'm doing a lot for you. You know that this is like, I'm like working really hard just to make you happy. This is for you. I'm doing this for you. You know that, right? And you can't even say thank you. You can't even appreciate me, right? Like that's codependent behavior, right? Like we've all heard that, mom. Be like, you know how hard it is for me to do this for you? Like, no, mom, you could have said no. Could have said no to the brownies. You know, so next time you set a boundary and you say, you know what? I have too much on my plate right now. I can't do it.
And I do want to get into that is actually my next question. So going back to your example, your own personal example of when you made a shift in your relationship, how does that shift happen? Like, how do we begin to recognize, first of all, XYZ is happening? We talked a bit about that. But then how do we break that cycle?
That's a good question. So they say, so like detachment is something that they say is really helpful in codependency. So like detachment doesn't mean I don't care about you anymore. You're out of my life forever. Detachment means I'm separate from you and I am a whole person outside of the context of this relationship. And I have needs and thoughts and feelings and important things that matter. And I matter. And you are not in my control. You are not, I can't control you. I can't control your feelings. I can't control your behaviors. What helped me, because at the time I was dealing with an adult, and this will be a little bit different for dealing with a kid, but when I was dealing with an adult, for me, it was my problem. I had to realize that they are a whole ass adult. They are capable of managing their own emotions. They are capable of moving through the world, being successful in life, making their own decisions, dealing with their own consequences. It's on them to show up or not show up. And when they don't show up, that doesn't reflect badly on me. That reflects badly on them.
Right.
And I can say, you know, I'm pretty bummed out and mad that they didn't come because I'm feeling hurt. Right. So like, that's the difference. Like for me, it was, I respect that this person is an autonomous adult that has the right to make whatever decisions he's going to make. And it's not up to me. Who am I? It's none of my business if he's having a bad day or if he's, you know, thinking whatever he's thinking, or if he's doing something. It's not my problem to solve. Now I have to use healthy communication to express like my feelings about that. But it's not about command and control. It's about like, hey, this was really disappointing for me. I would like you to change your behavior for the good of our relationship. Right. And then we can go to couples counseling and then we can talk and then we can, whatever, if we need to do all that stuff.
Right.
But it's about being accountable for me and then letting other people be accountable for themselves.
So then it looks different, you said, when it's a kid.
Yeah, because they're not a whole adult.
Right. There are some things that we still need to be responsible for, right?
Totally. We're still responsible for a lot of their life, but we need to have natural consequences. So for example, if my kid forgets his homework and I'm at work, I'm not going to leave work and go get his homework and drop it off at school.
Right.
He's going to have to get a ding on his grade for that. That's not I can't. That's not up to me. His agency is that he has to take care of himself and take care of his schoolwork.
Mm-hmm.
I don't wake them up for school, right? They have an alarm clock that wakes them up. I'm not going in every day, every 3 times, 4 times, 5 times saying, wake up, wake up, wake up. No, I'm going to say, you have an alarm clock. You wake up for school and we're leaving at this time. And if you didn't wake up on time, you're leaving like you are. So if that means you're going to school in pajama pants and, a t-shirt, or if that means you didn't get to brush your hair, or if that means, you didn't get to get ready all the way, that's what it is. You show up like that because we're leaving at 7, and that's like, there's a list of things that a kid can be responsible for. And then there's a list of things that an adult has to take ownership of. Like an adult takes ownership of safety. Like it's not a kid's responsibility to pay the bills in the house.
Right.
I'm going to do that.
Right.
That's not me caretaking or rescuing. That's me being an adult who's responsible for a child's well-being and safety.
Right.
And so when we teach a kid that they need to take care of themselves, we're teaching. That's what that is. We're teaching. We're not pushing them in the pool and hoping they learn how to swim. We're giving them gradual lessons like, hey, this is what happens if you don't make the bus. You have to walk to school. And it's 2 miles and that's far and it's going to take you a long time and you're going to be late for first period and whatever. Like, but that's what it has to be. So like teaching a kid is different than caretaking and doing too much. Like when we're caretaking and we're doing too much, then we've got a 15-year-old who doesn't know how to do the laundry or fill up their water bottle before school.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes. Actually, not to cut you off, but I have to tell you, I was on another podcast with a lady who does college prep. She helps kids like figure out what college to go to and, scholarships and all of that. And she's like, I got to give you some tips, about how to prepare your kid for college. And the first thing that she said was get them an alarm clock and teach them how to wake themselves up. Like there are too many kids that miss their first classes of college or, don't get off on the right foot because of that one little thing. It was just one example, but it was really interesting to me that you both brought it up. So this is a thing here, guys. This is
the thing. You know why we do this though? Because if our kid's late, we're late.
Yeah.
So like there's some necessity here. Like these are survival strategies. We're not just bad parents. We're not just, bad people. We're trying to get through the day.
Right.
It's so much easier to wake somebody up than to teach them how to wake themselves up.
Right.
It's so much easier to do someone else's laundry than to teach them how to do some laundry.
Agreed.
Right.
Completely.
We do a lot of things because it's easier, but then we're teaching them to be codependent.
Right.
That's where we get the baggage and the generational stuff. Like, well, my mom did all that for me.
Right. And now I need to find a wife that does all that for me.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. So how would one seek some help? So they're like, hey, they listen to the show. They're like, oh my gosh, that sounds like me. What's the next step?
So okay. There's self-help books, right? There's a couple. There's one called Boundaries. It's a workbook, a boundary setting workbook. And then there's another called Codependent No More by Melody Beadle or Beatty. Let me Google it really quick. But Beatty, Melody Beatty. And that's really good. She has a couple of different books on codependency, but what I like about them is that there's exercises in the books.
So I was going to ask you that too.
With therapy and do professional help. Like there's exercises in the book that help you reflect, like taking care of yourself, starting to identify your feelings, deciding how you feel about anger, because anger is big. Anger and resentment, like we talked about, like those crop up and they're really hard to control. And then it's about building your self-esteem and your own self-worth. Because when you're taking care of everyone else all the time, like a lot of times we think I'm the worst. I'm not good at anything. Nobody appreciates me. Like nobody loves me. Nobody cares about me. And I do all these things and it's never good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Who can relate to that?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so building up our own self-worth, building up our own self-esteem, like that's a really good place to start. And then like I like a feelings wheel. I use them all the time. You can get it on Google. Just Google a feelings wheel and then just notice all the feelings on the wheel. Pick one and be like, when was the last time I felt that feeling? What does that feeling feel like in my body? What would I do if I had that feeling right now? You know, do I like that feeling or does it feel uncomfortable? Just you're getting acquainted. You're getting acquainted with feelings and you're connecting with yourself. So these are self-exploratory exercises because you've been focused so much on everyone else for so long that you haven't ever thought about yourself.
Yeah. I take a very deep breath right there because I feel like that's a big bite for a lot of people. Not saying it's a bad bite. That's a big bite. That's a big gear to shift.
Yeah. Yeah. Like shifting your focus from everyone else to yourself can be really, really difficult.
And is that where, and this is probably a whole other show and a whole other conversation, and there's probably a lot of other things that go into this. But is that where, like, when we become empty nesters, it gets weird?
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
Oh, yeah.
You're almost there. You're pretty much there, aren't you?
I'm close. So
Yeah.
I have 2 in the nest, 1 out of the nest, and the 2 in the nest are going to be out of the nest next year. So I'm almost an empty nester. And my plan over the past year has been teaching them how to be adults on their own and giving them autonomy and agency and telling them that I love them the way they are, not trying to control their feelings or their mental health, but being transactional about like when they have something that they need to do, like when I need them to do chores or dishes or whatever, then I say like, hey, this needs to get done today. If it doesn't get done today, then I'm like, hey, this isn't okay. It needs to get taken care of. Adults handle their own stuff, right? So I'm transferring the ownership onto them. And then I'm saying, like I've said to them recently, like, you know, I'm having a really hard time because I had a tough day and I need you to do me a favor and you'll have to, I'm not going to cook dinner tonight. You guys are going to have to cook dinner tonight for yourself. Right. And so, I'm saying like, hey, let's transfer the ownership. I'm accountable for my own feelings. I don't have to cook for you. Like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to set a boundary and say like, I'm not cooking tonight. You know, you're responsible for your own dinner. And kind of like, so what I've been doing over the past year is I've been trying to separate myself from them and help them become autonomous, you know, choice-making individuals who are working full-time, who are saving up their money. They know how much rent they're going to have to pay next year. They know what they're saving up, you know, they're planning their budgets. They're thinking about that. They're learning how to cook. They're learning how to organize. They're learning how to do, you know, day-to-day stuff. And check the mail every day, or at least once a week, like so that it doesn't get sent back to the post office because that's happened several times in my house.
Yep. Same.
Right. So I'm preparing them for a life of autonomy and I'm preparing myself for some independence.
Yeah.
For some like not being needed all the time.
Is it scary to you?
It's so scary.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was having that conversation with whom? Probably several people over the last couple of weeks. And I'm just like, my life is going to be very, very different in 6 years, whatever it is, you know, like, what am I going to do? Who am I? Like, who am I going to be then? You know?
Yeah. It's interesting. So like when my middle child moved out, I kind of went through that. Like, it was really hard because I spent the most time probably with my middle child because my middle child is the most social. So like he was the one who was talking to me throughout the day or playing games at night or whatever. Like he's the one who's more social. So he was kind of out and about. Whereas the other ones play games on their computers. They go out with their friends, they whatever. And so when he moved out, I like lost my buddy.
Yeah.
And so I, one, went back to therapy. And two, I learned that his success is really the whole point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not normal for him to not move out. Like, this is what I signed up for. So I had to like reframe. I had to kind of say like, okay, I raised kids so that it's a sacrificial, parenting is sacrificial.
Yeah.
Parenting is not about you. It's not about, they don't owe you anything. They don't have to like you. They don't have to love you. They don't have to give anything back. They don't have to do, like, it's you're giving a gift of life to this child, and you're setting them up for success. And the best case scenario is that they like you because you've been, likable, and like you've treated them well, and they've, they continue to want to be in your life as adults, which he does, which I'm grateful for. But I had to really like think about what it means for me, for him to not be in my house anymore. It means that I did what I signed up to do, and now I get to enjoy his company in a different way, and we have to reshape the dynamic of the relationship. But I also have to going back to what I was doing with my relationship, with my significant other, was I had to I have to think about myself. What do I like to do in my spare time? Do I like cooking? Because if I do, then I'll keep cooking. If I don't, maybe I won't.
Yeah.
Do I like, spending time with my dogs? That's helpful. I still have dogs. So somebody still needs me. So there's my little codependency coming out. But I just had to think about, what do I want my life to look like? And what makes me interesting? What makes me fun? What makes me, joyful and calm and, content? Because all of those things are the things that your kid's going to like about you and want to spend time with you. I really like playing Yahtzee. So do they. They want to play Yahtzee with me because I'm a good time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, they're going to like you for you later on. So if you are nobody except for them, then they're going to have a hard time connecting with you.
Right. Then who are you? They don't know.
No one knows.
Right. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we need to come back and have this conversation again after we're both empty nesters in like a couple of years.
Know.
Just be like how it turned out.
For sure. Because I'm feeling anxious about my other kids leaving. Like, my youngest is 18. And, we're talking about him, renting the house next year with his brother and a couple roommates and whatever. So like, we're planning for this, but I'm like, is he really ready?
Yeah.
So I asked him the other day, and he really didn't answer me. So I don't know the answer, but I was like, are you ready for this? Because it's we need to talk through, because you don't have to move out. You don't have to leave, or I don't, we don't have to live separately.
Yeah.
Because I gave your brothers time. Like, my oldest is 21. And so like, you still have years that you can live with me. It's up to you. And he really didn't answer me, but I think he's noodling on it. But I think that might be me kind of being like, are you sure? Are you sure you're ready to go? Because I'm not ready for you to go.
Right. Right. And he might be feeling that energy too, right?
Totally.
I don't want to upset mom. I'm the baby.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh boy. What a topic this was. Thank you so much for talking through this with me. Is there anything else that you feel like we should, I always feel like there can be a part 2 to anything we do, but anything else that we should add to this one before we go?
I think one of the most important things is that you deserve to live a full life, even though you sacrifice a lot of your life to raise your kids. You deserve to live a full life. Your kids will appreciate and love and respect you for that. You don't have to only be the mom. I think that's an important one.
That's hard. It's also hard to keep in mind. I'll just use my own personal experience. For example, I've got a little small 2-day vacation coming up. I'm going to be going to spend some time with a family member that I grew up with that I haven't seen in probably a decade. You know, and I have just so much guilt about going and not being there for him because he's going to be in school, you know, during that time. And it's just so hard. But anyway, this too shall pass.
Yeah. So guilt is interesting. If you feel guilty, check in. Am I actually doing something wrong? Or am I behaving some way that's inconsistent with my morals or values? The answer is no. That's not guilt, that's shame, and that's not productive.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And if you have guilt and you're like, yeah, I really did do something wrong, I hurt that person's feelings and I need to apologize, then go apologize and you'll feel better. But if the answer is no, that's not guilt, that's shame, and that is not helping you.
I love that. Thank you for that perspective. I appreciate it.
And then you can enjoy your trip.
Yes. And I very, very much need to, because it's only like 2 days. I'm literally not even going to be gone 48 hours. So like, you know, anyway, as always, I so appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your expertise. Thank you for your knowledge. Thank you for being down to earth and like for sharing your personal experiences. Some feedback that I get a lot about our show is I love that you guys speak from your own personal experience and like we can learn about you and we can, you know, like we share what's going on in our world. And I think that that helps people also not feel so alone and feel like, well, you know, if these two ladies are going through it, then, you know, must be normal, right?
We are just like you, right?
Exactly. Yeah. If you guys want to see just how much we are just like you, then hop on over to our YouTube channel. It is at MOMnation USA. That's the handle. Scroll down just a little ways and you will see the mental wealth playlist. Also at the top, there is a podcast. You can click on that. And that is just the mental wealth show as well. And then I haven't told Laura this, but I finally figured out how to break the shows up in Spotify. So stay tuned because Mental Wealth is going to have its very own podcast under the MOMnation umbrella. So yes. So we're moving on up in the world here, Laura. And thank you so much for your help with all of that. I will see you next time.
I'll see you next time.
Feeling overwhelmed or stuck in patterns you don't understand? Meet Laura Olivieri Wood, licensed counselor, board-approved clinical supervisor, and founder of Benevieri. Benevieri offers specialized care using a proven model that bridges generational gaps with plans tailored just for you. Laura Wood offers a free mini course where you'll discover how your brain processes life and learn 3 simple ways to reset when it all feels like too much. Your past doesn't define you. Let's unlock the future together. Connect with Laura Wood today.